You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6.
It's unfortunate, but we've got to find a way we all work together.
Red tide causing concerns for residents and also keeping visitors away. Just how long might this last?
And we have a new date for Aquapalooza. This weekend's event has been postponed due to all that red tide.
And as you head out the door this morning, there's a road closure in downtown Manatee County and Bradenton. Might cause some big delays this morning in the morning commute. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning. We've made it to Friday together, August 3rd. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. We're going to answer a lot of your questions about red tide. We've had so many questions about why it's so bad right now and all these things. So we'll get to all of that in the hour. Right now, let's send it over to the one and only John Scalzi.
Thank you very much. So we're looking at generally some quiet conditions for your morning commute. Not a whole lot of rain shower activity around, and in fact, a significant change in the weather pattern occurring today will help to limit the number of storms that we see over the next several days. Also change the wind directions. 75 degrees in Wauchula, Mayaca, Northport, closer to the coast into the upper 70s. The day planner shows only about a 30% chance of storms in the afternoon, in part because of an east wind shift, which we'll discuss in detail in a few minutes, and because of some drier air filtering in, which we'll also cover. Back to you guys.
All right, talk to you again soon. Thank you, John. Let's take a live look right now at a water main break causing a bit of an issue there right in downtown Bradenton on Manatee Avenue West. We have a crew obviously downtown there, and we'll watch how this affects the morning commute. Big hole there in the road near downtown. Details throughout the hour here on Good Morning Suncoast. Here's the rest of the traffic scene. Buildup continues there on Cortez westbound, starting at about 43rd Street West and heading toward the beaches. Be aware of that unusual slowdown on Cortez. Otherwise, all clear in Manatee County. The northern half of Sarasota County showing some delays there on University at the very top of your screen. You'll see there in the eastbound lanes from Lockwood Ridge on east toward Honore and also by the mall. Some delays already this morning. Fruitville Road eastbound as well, about Beneva toward McIntosh. And then our final maps to the south will show nothing right now in the red. Pretty smooth South County at 6:02.
Well, the high level of red tide right now has many of you reaching out to us with your questions. What is the cause of this algae bloom? How long will it last? Scientists say we're seeing the effects of a bloom that started way back in October, but just why is it so bad right now? Well, ABC 7's Taylor Torregano went to the experts to get your questions answered.
So this is the toxin that causes all this trouble that we see in the water.
Tiny microscopic organisms.
You can fit about 1,000 on the tip of a pencil eraser.
Doing a lot of damage.
When waves crash on shore and we have a high concentration of this organism in the water, when the waves crash, it bursts the cell open and these toxins can become airborne. And this is why people on the coast can get respiratory irritations.
It's horrible.
A USF biolab teacher now, but before she took her talent to the classroom, Karen Atwood spent 15 years at the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation. She was responsible for these maps indicating where red tide is prevalent.
You can see when other blooms have started where you can see a lot of red, as we're seeing on the map this week.
Atwood says despite what many believe, long stretches of red tide have been detected as early as the late 1800s. She uses this data from FWC to prove it. Each box of the graph is a month of the year, and every blue box indicates medium to high levels of red tide.
Look at how long this one went. Okay, then we had another one in 2002 to 2003. We had 2004 to 2005. So, I mean, we often, it's not all the time, it's not every single year, but we have had it before.
So statistics to show it dates back. But is this algae naturally occurring? Atwood says yes, but what scientists haven't been able to prove is whether or not humans play a factor in its severity or duration.
To really get at a cause and effect relationship, they need more funding and it needs to be stable and consistent throughout the year.
Meantime, Congressman Vernon Buchanan is calling on state and other federal officials to do more in the effort to combat red tide. He says he and his staff have talked to a variety of experts, many of whom have different opinions as to why red tide is so strong right now. Buchanan says after seeing its effects firsthand, he'll be suggesting that NOAA allocate a much higher degree of its recent $8 million federal grant to Mote Marine for new research.
It is a big problem, and I would just say in terms of the state of Florida, One of our biggest industry is tourism. We've got to be more aggressive about dealing with this. It'd be simple if someone could tell me what the problems are, we can go deal with it, but you talk to 10 different people and they have 10 different opinions.
Buchanan says he's going to try to convince his colleagues in Congress to allocate more federal dollars to studying red tide.
Well, this is what New Pass Sandbar on Lido Key should have looked like this weekend. Boats anchored in the clear blue water, people out enjoying the sun and the sand, but not this weekend. Instead, Aquapalooza had actually been canceled for Saturday. The reason? You guessed it, red tide. Organizers posted the cancellation on their website, saying it is now rescheduled for September the 1st.
For the latest on this story and red tide stories and breaking news and the forecast, check out our app. It's in the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast. An emergency road repair is underway this morning due to a water main break in downtown Bradenton. Crews working on about 2 blocks of road on Manatee Avenue West from 8th Street to 10th Street West, right there on your screen. Now, there's a huge hole on 10th Street that's causing the road closure. Here's some pictures. The outside lane of that road and the right lane will be closed for the next 2 weeks. For a detour map, you can go to our website at mysuncoast.com.
New details this morning about a devastating drowning in Hillsborough County. Police say a 4-year-old little girl is dead after her mother threw her into the Hillsborough River yesterday afternoon. Tampa police say the divers found the girl in the water, then tried to rush her to the hospital, but it was too late. Witnesses were the ones who called the police, saying they saw the woman throw a child into the water. The mother, 26-year-old Shakayla Denson, is now charged with first-degree felony murder, aggravated child abuse, and grand theft auto after stealing a car in St. Pete.
First daughter Ivanka Trump said the decision to separate families at the border was a low point since she's been at the White House. She was asked yesterday about the administration's zero-tolerance policy. Ivanka says she was against that policy.
That was a low point for me as well. I feel very strongly about that, and I am very vehemently against family separation and the separation of parents and children. So I would agree with that sentiment. I think immigration is incredibly complex as a topic. Illegal immigration is incredibly complicated.
President Trump reversed course in June and signed an executive order to keep parents and children together.
Well, we are always looking for better ways to manage our money, and with today's technology, it is even easier. First, here's a good app for you to try out, Fortune City. This one combines bookkeeping with a game to teach you some basic budgeting habits as you track your income and expenses. Now, a really popular one is Acorns. This one has gotten big. It automatically invests your spare change and then allows you to make different investments on a one-time or a recurring basis. Next, there's BeMinder. This one requires a little bit more self-control and discipline. You have to commit to a goal and then meet these milestones along the way. Now, if you miss any of those, you have to make a payment to the app. So again, discipline. And last, IOU. This app allows you to set up all of your recurring payments and keep track of your budget.
6:08 right now, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast.
Severe weather on the East Coast is bringing tornadoes, flooding, and high winds, and a dam in Virginia is now at its breaking point. We're going to take a look at all those when we come back. But first,
here's a peek at the White House in Washington right now as dawn is breaking there. There's the flag flying up high. They're going to see a high there of 81 degrees. A little warmer in these parts, John Scalzi.
Indeed it is. That trough low pressure that produced the inclement weather and severe weather that you saw in those images is indirectly influencing our weather. As it lifts out, high pressure builds in, we get a little bit of drier air in place, reducing our rain chance to about 30%. We'll have the whole forecast for you in a second.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think it up.
It's
hard to see when you're outside at night. It's time for the Atomic Beam Sunblast, the new solar-powered light that's super bright. Atomic Beam Sunblast lets you add a light anywhere, and the atomic solar panels charge the built-in lithium-ion battery quickly. Then the 180-degree motion sensor turns on the light when you get near and automatically turns off when you disappear. Look, here's a best-selling outdoor solar light, and here's the super bright Atomic Beam Sunblast. Get the super bright Atomic Beam Sunblast for only $19.99. But wait, call right now and you can double your order and get a second Sunblast, plus our best-selling Atomic Beam Flashlight. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 Atomic Beam Sunblasts and the Atomic Beam Flashlight. Call now.
Call 1-800-431-6640. That's 1-800-431-6640. Or visit mysunblast.com. So call 1-800-431-6640. Order now.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC 7. Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're watching a temperature of 74 degrees with a dew point value of 73. Pretty close together temperature and dew point, giving us high relative humidity at 97%. There is certainly a humid feel to the air at the surface. That's not going anywhere. It's going to be a warm, sticky afternoon. What changes is the amount of dry air aloft. And that drier air aloft that's beginning to filter in will help reduce our rain chances just a little bit today to about 30%. Yesterday we had about a 50% rain chance. The day before that about a 60% rain chance. So we'll lower it just a little bit for a couple of days and then maybe bring it up just a bit for the second half of the weekend. 20% chance by 7 p.m. tonight. Should be a beautiful evening. Still have a few rivers that are in flood stage, rivers and creeks in inland areas, but nothing that exceeds minor flooding there. We have a quiet condition along our area roadways this morning as most of the showers are out in Gulf waters today. That general easterly wind helping to push those showers away from the coastline, send them out into the center of the Gulf. Now, what will happen later today is that with the daytime heating, we'll start to develop a bit of a sea breeze, and with that sea breeze will come a collision between the sea breeze winds pushing inland and this general prevailing easterly wind clashing up against that. The combination of those two winds colliding will provide the lift necessary to produce a few showers, but because of the strength of this easterly flow today, it might keep that sea breeze just a little closer to the coastline, so that'll be the focal point for showers a bit later in the afternoon. Also, a trough of low pressure is going to start lifting out this weekend. That'll allow our high pressure to build in just a little bit and provide us with some drier air aloft that will limit the number of storms that we get. Number of storms meaning the coverage across the area. So, east wind builds, drier air moves in, and the storms stay closer to the coast for a couple of days. And the timing of the storms is a little bit different as well. We'll talk about that in a second. So the moisture available to produce rain showers on this image is indicated by red. Redder is wetter. As we progress through time, the drier, cooler colors start to filter in and provide us with that drier weather that we'll see. Now, there are a few little blips in that scenario. Little packets of moisture will ride through the middle part of our atmosphere, and that will help to, from time to time, bring us slightly elevated rain chances. And so each and every day is just a little bit different, and there will be a few changes in the chances for rainfall down the road. You'll see that expressed in our extended range forecast. Water temperatures out in the Atlantic are historically low and have been for months now and continue to be so. In the mid-70s, usually they're solidly in the 80s. So that's going to kind of prevent any tropical development from occurring. That and the fact that we have high wind shear across the Atlantic basin, as well as in our area, in the Caribbean, in the near Atlantic as well. As we put the ripping winds aloft into motion, the contours that are a little bit bluer indicate the higher wind shear air, and it's all through the Caribbean. We're seeing some higher wind shear air as well as in parts of the Atlantic as well. So that is going to help limit the number of storms that we get. All in all, our long-range computer models put through motion don't show any kind of development in the tropics for the next 5 days. Good news there. So you can go through the weekend comfortable knowing that. Southeast wind shifts southwest with a little bit of a sea breeze close to the coast in the afternoon at about 10 knots, 2-foot seas, light chop. And the forecast for the 7 days ahead looks like this. 91 today, same thing tomorrow. Low rain chances at about 30%. For August, that's a pretty low rain chance. Now, I'm not saying we won't see any rains, but certainly fewer than normal. We'll uptick the rain chance a little bit on Sunday and Monday as well. And then as we head into Tuesday, I think more dry air will reduce our rain chances further to about 20%. That's about as low as it gets at this time of year. And then as we head into the balance of next work week, we'll probably start to raise rain chances. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Let's take a look outside and check on that traffic in Manatee County. We have been watching Cortez all morning, and it is still a little bit congested out there heading to and from the beach area. 41 is also starting to show a couple delays right there, as is 301. Heading into Sarasota County, those roads are still not looking too bad all just yet. Clark Road, couple delays there, but not too bad, anything too big. Heading into South County, 75 and 41 are also not running too bad at this hour either. So pretty easy traffic commute this morning, 617. That's First Alert traffic.
Starting this weekend, visitors wanting a 360-degree view of Seattle from inside the Space Needle can do so while walking on moving glass. This is the Loop, the first and only revolving glass floor in the world where visitors can take in the view from beneath their feet, 50 stories above the ground.
And you can feel like you're floating and you're moving whilst looking at this incredible view.
Now, the next big unveiling for the Space Needle is set to be a new dining concept with the moving glass floor as the centerpiece. Sounds great from the anchor desk, but if you're out there, that's a little daunting.
Yeah, I don't know if I need to see all that underneath me. That's already making me a little nervous.
Unnerving, yes.
Well, after days of torrential rain in Lynchburg, Virginia, College Lake Dam there is reaching its breaking point, and this morning evacuations are underway.
Also, tornado warnings overnight in parts of New York City, and storms in New Jersey forced thousands of fans at a concert to run for cover. ABC's Ryan Smith has the story.
Overnight, evacuations underway in Lynchburg, Virginia, as fears of a possible dam failure rise. 6 inches of rain in just a few hours has pushed the College Lake to fill beyond capacity. And officials say if the dam gives way, water levels in the town would rise 17 feet in less than 10 minutes. Rescue crews worked into the night, pulling people to safety in the floodwaters.
We have our rescue boats here, and they have been searching around the apartments.
Dozens of people in this apartment building in the nearby town of Timberlake also forced to evacuate after water surrounded the building.
I want you to pay attention.
In New Jersey, powerful storms were even too much for Beyonce and Jay-Z. Everyone in the packed MetLife Stadium was forced to leave their seats as strong wind, rain, and lightning approached before the couple's On the Run 2 concert. Farther south,
the water is still rising.
Homes and businesses swamped in a Georgia town as floodwaters overtake Cave Spring. And in Arizona, more evacuations as a monsoon brings this massive wall of dust, heavy rain, and more flooding. Ryan Smith, ABC News, New York.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast.
A warning for parents about a popular snack. Check this out. It actually put a Florida teen in the hospital. We're going to tell you why and the whole story when we come back.
Here's a live shot now of New York City. Looks a little overcast there. We think that's the Brooklyn Bridge heading there to South Manhattan. 6:20, you're watching Good Morning Suncoast on this Friday morning.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-871-1644. 800-871-1644.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
6:23 right now. This is a live shot in downtown Bradenton. Look at that. Water main break right there on Manatee Avenue West. It'll shut down the road for up to 2 weeks. Not the entire road, just that lane where repairs are underway. And it could cause a little damper in the morning commute in that particular spot. Busy spot though, downtown between 8th and 10th, Manatee Avenue West. We'll check traffic in about 7 minutes here on Good Morning Suncoast. Fiat Chrysler has issued a recall of 1 million Ram pickups. The company said the tailgates could fly open when the affected vehicles are in motion. The recalls for trucks between 2015 and 2017. Fiat Chrysler is reminding drivers to secure loose cargo to avoid potential issues. So far, though, no injuries or accidents have been reported.
A warning for parents this morning about kids eating a snack called Dragon's Breath. So what is it? Well, Dragon's Breath is a cereal-like snack that's coated in liquid nitrogen, which makes it appear, like you can see with these kids right here, like you're breathing smoke out of your mouth and nose, which of course kids love. It's not a good idea though. A Florida teen that suffers from asthma, he actually began to have problems right after eating the snack, ended up in the hospital. And doctors say that liquid nitrogen is exactly what triggered his asthma attack.
That doesn't look like a good idea at all.
Looks like fun, but don't do it, kids.
No.
Don't do it.
Right.
An Ohio couple is continuing their legal fight after their fertilized embryo was lost when the tank that it was being stored in failed.
Wow, ABC's Ariel Reshef has the story.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an Ohio couple who lost their embryos in a massive fertility clinic freezer malfunction is asking an appeals court to declare those embryos patients, not property.
We were older parents and we wanted a bigger family so that our children had, siblings to grow up with, and I'm always going to wonder what's missing.
Wendy and Rick Penniman had 3 viable embryos stored at Cleveland's University Hospital, all of them destroyed. The Pennimans among the 950 families whose 4,000 eggs and embryos did not survive after the clinic's cryogenic storage tanks failed.
They've denied us.
They have essentially denied her the ability to continue motherhood.
Yeah.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have more on this legal battle. With your GMA First Look, I'm Ariel Reshef, ABC News, New York.
How did we test our Dixie Ultra plates? With 2 pounds of steak in each hand. Dixie Ultra. Stress tested so you can stress less at dinner.
VisionWorks can do more than just make you see great. The right pair of glasses can make you look amazing, too.
And our buy one, get one free sale is a great time to get a backup pair for when you leave them at school, by the pool, or over at Steve's. VisionWorks, we're here to help you.
I found out the hard way. Not all washes take care of intimate odor. Now I know better.
Vagisil Odor Block Wash helps stop odor before it starts for 24 hours of odor protection. So get more from your wash. Get all-day freshness. Vagisil. When your blanket's freshness fades before the binge watching begins, that's when you know it's half washed. Next time, add Downy Fabric Conditioner for freshness that lasts through next week's finale. Downy, and it's done.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook. ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6:30.
It's devastating, you know, to lose everything. It's unreal.
Happening right now, new evacuation orders are in place as those California wildfires continue to burn.
Moat Marine sharing advice for those experiencing health issues from red tide. We'll tell you about those symptoms.
And the back-to-school tax holiday kicks off today. Marla Spence has a list of where you can get the best bang for your buck. We'll have it all for you. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Thanks for waking up with us on this Friday morning. We've made it to Friday. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. Red tide is the big buzz right now. Yeah. Everyone's talking about it. You can smell it.
A lot of questions.
Let's get to John Scalzi for the latest in the forecast. John?
Well, I think we're going to have a little bit of a wind shift today, which could help out, hopefully, over the course of the weekend. We'll go from a southeast wind, which has promoted a stronger sea breeze in the afternoon, to a more due easterly wind, which will tend to push that sea breeze back just a little bit, maybe even reduce it to where it has very little impact on the drift of the red tide over land. Maybe. We'll see how strong it gets this afternoon. In any event, we're quiet right now across the region in terms of any kind of rainfall. Temperatures are generally speaking in the mid-70s in inland areas, upper 70s close to the coast. We have high pressure building in, which is switching our winds around to the east, focusing our rainfall chances to the coastline today, and that will bring us about a 30% chance of rain. That's pretty low for this time of year. We'll talk about how long that lasts and take a look at red tide status as well coming up in a few minutes.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. This is a live shot right now of a water main break in downtown Bradenton. That's on Manatee Avenue West between 8th and 10th in the downtown area. That might cause an issue in some lanes as you travel downtown. Let's check the maps right now and see if we have any indications so far of an issue in downtown Bradenton. No, nothing yet, but we'll continue to track that through the morning. Farther south, there is an issue there at State Road 70, and I just lost track of the street it said also, so we'll check back there in 15 minutes. Finally, in the next map, we'll see nothing in the red so far, and down south, all clear at 6:32.
Well, we are just 10 days away from the start of the new school year. I can't even believe it. This weekend, it is time to stock up on supplies.
Yeah, today starts the annual back-to-school sales tax holiday, and our Marla Spence has a preview for us.
Hey, good morning, guys. Parents, students, and just about anyone can take full advantage of this year's back-to-school sales tax holiday. It started today 1 minute after midnight and will last until Sunday right before midnight. Now, items exempt from taxes are clothing, shoes, and school supplies. Clothes, shoes, and accessories for $60 or less per item are tax-free this holiday, and your basic school supply items are also tax-free if they ring up to being less than $15 per item. Now, one more thing not to forget is that computers and computer-related accessories this year are not tax-free like they were last year. This is something legislators did away with for this year. Just yesterday, Governor Rick Scott was in Tampa highlighting this weekend's back-to-school sales tax holiday. He mentioned Florida families this weekend are saving $32.7 million with the holiday in place. Now, as you head back to stores this weekend for that back-to-school shopping, it's also great to remember some retailers will be having sales of their own in addition to offering coupons. Now, this is a great money saver on top of not charging taxes on specific items. Now, for a full list of items exempt and not exempt, you can head to our website, mysuncoast.com. There you'll find an article on the sales tax holiday on the homepage. And also remember, next week, starting Monday, we'll have full coverage on back to school and everything you need to know for your kids this school year. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Marla, for the latest on this story and all breaking news involving red tide and the forecast. Check out our app in the App Store under WWSB or under My Suncoast. New evacuation orders are now in effect in California right now as other orders are being lifted. But as reporter Andrew Spencer tells us, many of those going back home are learning there is not much home to go back to.
Steve Lazarton and his family are left picking through the rubble of their home in Redding, California.
That's all we have left.
But even after losing so much to the car fire, it's the support of their community that is lifting their spirits.
It's been overwhelming with the amount of people who really are so caring and so loving and want to help. That's been probably the tearjerker for our family through this.
The evacuation orders were also lifted for the neighborhood where Terry Kutris used to live. Used to, because there's not much left of it now.
It's devastating, to lose everything. It's unreal. You just can't prepare for something like this.
It's not an uncommon story here. A little farther south, those in the path of the Mendocino Complex fire hope to avoid the same fate. CAL FIRE issued updated mandatory evacuation orders Thursday night. While much of Michael Vieira's family has already evacuated Upper Lake,
the kids have left, the grandkids have left.
For now, he's staying behind.
It's pretty stressful up here. In the morning, you can't see anything. You don't know what's going on.
Amid the images of devastation, the Alameda County Fire Department shared this photo, an American flag untouched by the flames flying above the Whiskeytown Cemetery in Redding. They lowered it to half staff in honor of the firefighters who have lost their lives. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Back here on the Suncoast, when red tide conditions are bad, it can make you cough, sneeze, irritate your throat, even make it hard for some to breathe. Health officials say certain people should definitely avoid the beach altogether right now, especially if you have severe or chronic respiratory conditions like emphysema, asthma, or COPD. Now, it is especially important when the winds are blowing those toxins on or near the shore.
It's more of a chemical irritant. So if, much like you would walk in anywhere and breathe something in that's an irritant, it's going to irritate you in your eyes, in your lungs, kind of like smoke. Maybe that's not a great analogy, but that's what comes to mind.
The doctor also said he's not aware of any long-lasting health impacts of red tide.
There are some things you can do to limit those health issues related to red tide. Moat Marine says limit outdoor activities or do them away from the coastline. When driving, keep your car windows up and the AC on. Over-the-counter antihistamines may relieve some symptoms. Seek medical care if your symptoms worsen.
Now, that red tide is also affecting the number of people that are visiting the area. According to Visit Sarasota, the majority of area hotels are experiencing cancellations right now. They say about 75% of hotels surveyed have reported cancellations. Local food banks are getting plenty of help and support of the campaign against summer hunger. So far, a total of 11 organizations have all given All Faiths Food Bank over $151,000 in grants. Now, this is the 5th year that the food bank has helped raise money to help fight hunger during the summer months when kids aren't in school. ABC 7 has teamed up with All Faiths Food Bank and the Food Bank of Manatee County to help families in need. Now, if you want to get involved and help, just head online to mysuncoast.com.
A lot of the buzz right now in Sarasota County is about the red tide, and I posted a thread on my Facebook page, Ray Collins, ABC 7. Feel free to join the conversation. A lot of folks are chiming in about where they are and how far inland they are, and they're still detecting the smell.
That is right, and if you need a break from all the red tide, maybe just need a slight bit of a laugh, we have a great show blooper that involves Ron Burgundy and somebody's brain taking a nappity nap after the show yesterday. You can find that one on my Facebook page, Stephanie Webb, ABC 7. Still to come on Good Morning Suncoast.
An unusual showdown between two big-name golfers, Tiger versus Phil.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you.
I thought we needed that.
It helped. It's official. A date is in place for the showdown at Shadow Creek, also known as a big money grab. Here's a live shot. Sorry.
Big.
Manatee Avenue West, a little problem there. It's not a sinkhole, it's a water main pipe issue, and that might cause some problems in certain morning commutes. Live picture of Manatee Avenue West between 8th and 10th in the downtown Bradenton core.
And now let's take another live look, this time back to New York City. What a beautiful view that is. We get the best shots from New York City. Looks like a gorgeous day shaping up there. How's our weekend looking, John Scalzi?
You know, a little bit better in regards to the wind direction, I think. It'll be coming in out of the east over the course of the weekend, and that should help with some of the red tide toxins in the air and maybe alleviate some of the respiratory distress being reported. Moat Marine spotters indicate Lido Key, Siesta Key, and Gasparilla both all coming in with intense amounts of irritant in the atmosphere, whereas beaches from Coquina northward having none. We'll have a complete forecast for you in just a few.
According to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a ride-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small, so Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-871-1644. 800-871-1644.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC 7 shows on your streaming device. Now, your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
If you look at current conditions, the one thing that'll be of interest, I think, is that wind direction out of the east now, coming in at about 6. We'll have kind of a prevailing easterly flow over the course of the weekend, and that easterly wind, as opposed to a southwesterly wind, which we've had for a lot of the summer, is going to help us out. It's going to help us out in terms of taking some of the red tide smell and irritants in the air and maybe pushing them back out into Gulf waters. Now, the one thing we will get is a sea breeze, which will switch our winds around to a more southwesterly direction during the afternoon. But with the strength of an easterly wind, we might keep that sea breeze a little bit closer to the coast and perhaps even push it out into Gulf waters if the strength of the wind gets a little stronger over the course of the weekend. So we'll look for a 9 a.m. temperature of about 81 degrees. We'll have about a 10% chance at a shower. That's about it. Our rain chances much reduced for the morning hours over the next several days. So if you have an early tea time, I think this graph that you see here will be pretty much what we'll see Saturday and possibly Sunday as well. That is quiet through the morning hours, and then as we head into the afternoon, we'll probably uptick the rain chance just a little bit, but still below average at about 30%. As we look at the radar, we're noticing, well, not a whole lot of echoes across our area roadways this morning. That is because of that easterly wind flow kind of pushing our showers out into the Gulf. Now, we did have some overnight showers about 1 o'clock this morning. Some pretty good showers built and moved through, produced some 1-inch, 2-inch rainfalls in places around Northport. Al in Northport reported an 1.5 inch rainfall there during the overnight. We'll probably have to wait until this afternoon before we see those rain showers start to build once again. We've had a couple of persistent features on our weather map over the last few days. That has been this high pressure ridge, our Bermuda High out in the Atlantic, and this trough of low pressure, which has produced all those flooding rains and severe weather along the eastern seaboard and the Ohio Valley. Well, that trough is finally going to start lifting out and washing away as high pressure begins to build in. The high pressure building in will draw in some drier air and provide us with lesser rain chances. The coverage of the rains will be less. And we'll have this easterly wind flow under the underbelly of that high that'll continue to provide most of the activity, focusing closer to our coastline as opposed to inland areas where it did over the last several days. So that's a little bit of a change. East wind builds, drier air moves in, and storms closer to our coastline for the next several days. Now, at the surface, it's still going to be warm and humid. But aloft at mid and upper levels, this drier air here on this map, indicated here by the bluer colors, begins to drift in. As it drifts in, it lowers our rain chances. Now, you'll notice little kind of blobs of high moisture content air. Redder is wetter here. These higher moisture content airs will, from day to day, change our rain chances a little bit. So there will be variation in the 7-day forecast. But still, on balance, lower than average rain chances for the next several days. Taking a look at the forecast, well, for boating, not too bad today. Southeast wind switching southwest with that sea breeze in the afternoon, coming in at about 10 knots. 2-foot seas light chop. There'll be a few showers out there, but nothing too terribly bad. Maybe isolated, we'll call them. 30% chance of rain today and tomorrow. Again, these rainfall chances a little bit different than we have seen in that we're not going to get the morning showers near the coast. We're going to wait till afternoon, watch the showers build inland, and then see them drift back toward the coastline during the later part of the afternoon and into the evening. On Sunday, maybe we'll keep the rain chance at about 40%, same thing on Monday, then reduce it once again on Tuesday and kind of hold it there lower than average for a couple of days before we start to increase rain chances once again. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, John. Let's take a look outside and check your first alert traffic. We do have one accident to tell you about right there in Manatee County. On State Road 70, 15th Street, there's a lane blocked at 301. So again, right there at 301 and State Road 70, 15th Street, there's a lane block. So be on the lookout for that one during your morning commute. Heading into Sarasota, those roads are not looking too bad so far out there. Just a couple of our normal hot spots if you're coming off of 75. And then if you're headed into South County this morning, 75 and 41 a little bit farther south are not running too bad either at this hour. It is 6:47 and that is your first alert traffic. New this morning, an Amber Alert has been issued for a girl abducted from Reagan National Airport. Now, what police know right now is that 12-year-old Jingjing Ma disappeared around 8 yesterday morning, shortly after arriving at Reagan with a tour group from China. Now, she went to go to use the restroom and never came back.
It wasn't until they were starting to check through security that another student within that group notified the chaperones that she was missing.
Now, surveillance video shows her leaving with an unknown middle-aged Asian woman who's also on video giving food to the 12-year-old before the flight. Cameras at Reagan also found her changing her clothes with the help of the alleged abductor and then leaving the airport.
Well, here is a milestone for Apple. It is the first U.S. publicly traded company to hit the $1 trillion mark. That's 12 zeros. The iPhone 8 and iPhone 10 helped the company reach the $1 trillion mark. Apple is not the first to ever achieve that distinction, though worldwide, PetroChina has that distinction.
Well, it is being called the showdown at Shadow Creek. The date has been set for one of the biggest battles in the golf world. Tiger Woods versus Phil Mickelson, going to take place in November. According to ESPN, Mickelson and Woods are going to play in a winner-take-all tournament that is scheduled for Thanksgiving weekend with $10 million up for grabs. Now, that showdown is going to take place at the Shadow Creek Golf Course in Vegas. Not that either of them really need that $10 million, though. Both are on Forbes' list of the highest paid athletes for 2018. Woods ranks 16th on that list, while Mickelson is way down at number 22.
That'll draw a lot of viewers, probably.
I think so. That's going to be a big one in the golf world.
I don't recall any other showdown like that between two big golf names.
No, that'll be a good one.
It'll help interest in golf, too, because golf's nationwide.
It's raining a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, golf and NASCAR are the two big ones that have been taking a hit these last couple years. Yeah.
6:48 right now. Still ahead, your top 7 headlines before 7 a.m.
And that, of course, includes one last look at your weekend forecast. And Ray, I'll work a Star Wars story into this newscast.
You've been banned from Star Wars stories.
Not anymore. It's coming back, people.
Here's a live shot outside our studio right now. Pretty pastel sunrise underway on the Suncoast. If you don't mind some red tide. Luckily, it's not smell-o-vision.
No.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
The day you lose your strength is the day you lose your independence. Muscle is lost with age, affecting your energy, balance, and mobility. Before you know it, you're depending on others just to get through the day. But you can reverse and prevent muscle loss. Introducing MyoHealth, a revolutionary proven approach to increased muscle strength and function in as little as 30 days. Live life on your terms with more energy and confidence.
After a serious health issue put me down, MyoHealth's getting me back up again.
I'm doing activities that I haven't done for a long time. It really works.
MyoHealth is a safe, natural dietary supplement, the result of decades of research and 24 human clinical studies. You can live stronger at any age with greater strength, mobility, balance, and energy. Call or go online now and take the MyoHealth 30-Day Strength Challenge.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert Weather app now.
Having some fun on this Friday morning. If you go to my Facebook page right now, Ray Collins, ABC 7, we are simulcasting so we can get a chance to talk to you, ask your questions as the show ends.
We are Facebook Live right now and live on television. Boom, mind blown.
You'll see our very high-tech system right now. I've got my phone propped up against the coffee cup. So,
keeping it classy, Ray, keeping it classy.
Right, 6:52 right now on this Friday morning.
And coming up on Good Morning America, Duchess Meghan Markle is getting ready to celebrate her birthday, while the royal couple might soon be celebrating something much bigger. There's a tease for you. Well, it is 6:53, and of course, it is time again for your top 7 before 7.
Starting with John Scalzi's First Alert Weather Forecast.
Yeah, a couple of changes coming up over the weekend that I think will benefit some of the red tide sufferers. That is, an easterly wind flow will develop. That's going to be significant for a couple of reasons. One is it takes some of those toxins in the air and pushes them back out toward Gulf waters, maybe preventing the intrusion too far inland. It also means the focus for showers will be closer to the coast. Calm in the tropics right straight through the weekend. Nothing to worry about there. And drier as well, as some drier air moves in, will limit the number of rainstorms that we actually see. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Number 2 now, checking traffic. Be aware of that issue in downtown Bradenton right now on Manatee Avenue West. There's a water main break between 8th and 10th on Manatee Avenue, reducing some lanes there. We'll show you that in a moment. First, State Road 70. 15th Street, lane blocked at 301, so a busy spot there. Checking one more map now, farther south, you'll see just some small delays right now in the northern half of Sarasota County.
Number 3, the annual sales tax holiday for school supplies kicks off today. Clothes and shoes under $60, supplies under $15 are all sales tax free. We've got the full list of items online at mysuncoast.com.
Number 4, Red Tide has postponed tomorrow's annual party on the Sandbar and Big Pass. Aquapalooza has been moved 3 weeks to Saturday, September 1st.
Number 5, a road closure to be aware of this morning. Here's a live look right now. Manatee Avenue West in Bradenton, right there at 10th Street. You can see right there a giant hole is in place in the middle of the road after a water main break. Those repairs are expected to take up to 2 weeks.
Number 6, local food banks getting plenty of help in support of its campaign against summer hunger. So far, 11 organizations have given All Faiths Food Bank $151,000 in grants. If you want to help, look for the link on mysuncoast.com.
And number 7, what is trending? It's been a solid 2 months since I've been allowed to work a Star Wars story into this here newscast. So here we go, folks. The jacket that Harrison Ford wore in The Empire Strikes Back is projected to fetch over $1 million. I won't stop it. When it goes up for auction, it's $1 million for that jacket. I'd pay it. It's part of a huge prop store auction. The bullwhip that Ford used in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, that's expected to go for about $90,000. You know, like that famous fedora that he wears? That is expected to go for about $400,000. And it's not just like Star Wars and Indiana Jones stuff. You can also get, the outfit, the costume that Johnny Depp wore in Edward Scissorhands. That's going to go for about $105,000. And then just a hat that Tom Hanks wore in Bubba Gump, or for the Bubba Gump shrimp cap in Forrest Gump. It's going to go for about $9 grand. So I will be outside this station with a little collection cup if you need it. So I'm going to work my way to $1 million, folks.
Are they going to dry clean that jacket first?
Yes.
No, we don't want to dry clean. We want Harrison Ford's sweat and DNA. That's what makes the $1 million.
You see our high-tech simulcast going on right there?
Oh, yes.
That's my phone propped against a coffee cup. So
keeping it classy.
Go to Facebook, Ray Collins, ABC7, and join our conversation right now. Plenty of you have. I'll answer your questions live on Facebook in a matter of minutes. Have a great weekend and watch that red tide out there.
That's right. Good Morning America is straight ahead.